Hello, 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 and welcome to your weekly reading. I'm Madeline, excited to read for you. I missed you guys last week. I had a little injury and I'm still in recovery, thus, you not seeing my erratic Muppet facial expressions until next week when I will be back and see you again. So, welcome, welcome. If you've never been here before, a quick explanation of the spread. We're going to pull a theme card for your week, the overall energy. Then we'll pull a persona card to represent you, how you're showing up this week, and how it serves you best to show up, especially among the tableau of each elemental card, how things are going with money and work, how your headspace is, your mental state, how your emotional and relational life is going, and finally, how your energy is showing up and where it's being directed. So let's jump in, shall we? We will start with Aries. So, Spirit, for this coming week, we want to know what Aries needs to know for their highest good. What overall energy or theme is presenting itself this week that you want to help Aries embody, embrace? Wow, hey. I mean, listen, the devil knows about embodiment. So we're going to pull one more to get a little more info. Anytime we pull something a little upsetting, some of you won't worry about the devil, and blessings to you. But for those of you who do, no worries. We're going to pull a little antidote, Spirit. We want to know what you want Aries people to know about this devil energy. Ha 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 ha. I mean, 'tis the season. We're thinking about traditions, memories to see the moon here. We'll talk about it in just a second. First, we got to pull your persona card. Spirit, how are my Aries people showing up this week? What do you want them to know about their mood, their vibe, so that they can surf this energy for the highest good? The Page of Cups plays nicely with the moon. Good to see. You stay open, Aries. Spirit is saying that's one of your best qualities, is that childlike openness, that childlike honesty. And Spirit is talking about that willingness to, oh gosh, I can't remember the exact quote, but it's basically don't attribute malice to what you could attribute incompetence. Like, maybe somebody isn't out to get you. Maybe they're just not very good at what they're doing. Maybe they just have no idea how to navigate. You know what I'm saying? So some of you are going to know what that is. So, Spirit, when it comes to money, work, jobs, projects for Aries, Spirit, what do my Aries people need to know when it comes to their finances and projects this week? Love to see it. Okay. And what about their headspace? How are their thoughts operating this week, Spirit? How does it feel to be in the mind of Aries people at this time? Wow, right before I pulled this card, Spirit is saying, well, lest we forget, Mercury is going or has gone retrograde imminently into Capricorn. We'll talk about it. That does affect the cardinal signs, which you are a cardinal sign, Aries. Whoop! We're not ready to pick. It is affecting the cardinal signs more. So, yeah, I'm okay. Wow, Spirit is talking. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish pulling these cards so we can get into this story. Okay, Spirit, looking at emotions, feelings, relationships for Aries people, Aries sun, moon, rising, and dominant folks. Wow, that just exactly underlines what Spirit is already talking about with the devil, the moon, the nine of swords, and the four of cups. And now they're singing head games. Any of y'all familiar with Journey? Head games. That's an old shit. But for my fellow geriatric millennials, my fellow very sexily named geriatric millennials and my Gen Xers, y'all will probably know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay. And finally, Spirit, we want to look at Aries fire, their own element. How is Aries fire showing up this week? How do you want to guide them to direct it for their highest good? The same old ways are not going to work. And I'm hearing that a lot of you are getting some, it's going to seem a little ironic to say clarity around that, but that's what it feels like. A lot of you are doing deep dives into your maladaptive patterns. That's what I'm hearing. The devil attached to the moon, maladaptive patterns. This used to work for me. It doesn't so much. Like for some of you, you may be working with some old people pleasing. Like, oh, damn, I really love to be sweet. I really love to be the good one. I love to be the innocent one. Um, and it suits you. It suits you as an Aries, and the parts of it that are maladaptive have to go. So if I'm doing stuff and then I'm feeling resentful later, that's my little sign that, oh, I might be pledging my loyalty or doing or tying myself up to something that I don't necessarily want to be a part of. So the guidance that I'm seeing here is be really gentle with yourself. I am, and I'm getting a big congratulations, because again, a lot of you are doing like inner work, self work, sorting out, wanting to be healthier. And that Page of Cups gives a lot of encouragement that there's room to receive and understand things in a new way. The moon is primordial. The moon shines in the dark. You know what I'm saying? And the devil operates in the dark. So it's good to have the moon there, even if we might prefer the sun, because we'd like to know everything. But Spirit is saying the mystery is part of the point. Sorting through and going on that journey. Some of you, again, will know what I'm talking about. They're referencing the Never Ending Story. It's a movie. There's a book also, but they're talking about going on this mysterious adventure and trying to think of it as a game and fun. It's like, let's remember that life can, and especially for Aries, ought to be lived as an adventure, as a trip, is what Spirit is saying. So there's room to shift things around and make really beneficial changes here. Two of Pentacles, when it comes to your money and your work, shifting gently. There is a tendency in Aries people to want to send things into overdrive. Like if I'm going to do this project, or if I'm going to start this new regiment, it's like I'm going to start going at 100 miles per hour. And Spirit is like, how about a little at a time? How about, if you've been thinking that you want to change the way you're handling your money, or you want to make more money, or you want to whatever, like spend more um, intelligently. There are small, easy, like gentle shifts that you can make. Spirit is also showing me that some of you are considering like, hey, is it worth it to put time into learning this wow, that was craft, this trade or this craft. So I'm hearing go for it. I'm hearing step out and try things. Notice your old habits, notice the ways that you hold yourself back. Looking at this Nine of Swords when it comes to the headspace, Nine of Swords is overthinking it. Overthinking to the point of anxiety, even anxiety attacks, or just a panicked feeling of like, how am I ever going to get my shit together? And Spirit is like, here's a clue. Don't try to get all of it together at once. Pick something and make it a little better. Make it a little better. Make it a little better. Step by step improvements. Not expecting yourself to just dig out all of these maladaptive coping mechanisms, which is a fancy way of saying this behavior or this understanding of how the world works used to get me what I want, and used to maybe protect me from overbearing parents or whatever. Maybe being invisible used to be a really awesome way of getting through a really difficult time in school, but now it's keeping me from making the strides I want to make in my career. You know what I'm talking about? So what are those? What comes up for you when I say that? What currently is making you feel held back or low or subjugated? It's time to get into the feelings around that, the memories around that. Like, oh, you know what? When I really think about how I'm performing or behaving around this boss, it reminds me of how I used to need to perform or behave around this family member in order to get recognition or whatever, maintain the connection, etc. So don't try to solve everything all at once. That is a recipe for feeling like you have no control. take what you have control over and work with it gently. That includes like you, yourself, your energy, and the way that you meet that energy out. Four of Cups, very connected to this Nine of Swords, also very connected to the Devil and the Moon. You might be having some disenchantment this week that you're experiencing, and Spirit is like, hey, disillusionment, disenchantment, the benefit of that is that you're no longer under a spell. You are free to go. And that's what they're telling me with that Two of Wands. This Two of Wands, the person is adventuring, they are seeking wisdom, and this is actually the Hierophant that is hiding inside of that cave. Maybe if you watch the rest of these readings, or if you like to look at your moon, your rising, or other signs, you might end up seeing that Hierophant, the centaur Chiron, hiding in the cave. There's your healing. Chiron is the wounded healer. So you are going within. You will definitely benefit from reflecting kindly and gently, and remembering that even when you are doing your bad habits, or old habits die hard, or, okay, well, I don't have clarity yet, you are innocent. You are innocent, and you are not only allowed to change, like, you are welcomed, you are summoned to open, to change in ways that feel good to you. Not in ways that feel difficult and scary and like, oh, you have to be better. No, ways that make sense for you and feel good for you. Okay? So when old habits or bad habits or negative thought patterns, all things associated with the devil, even maybe substances that you might be overdoing it on, when you're noticing that this week, your prescription is to, rather than be mad at yourself or go into deep regret or shame, now Spirit is saying grief, not shame. So some of you who might, drink a little too much or smoke a little too much or eat a little bit poorly or whatever this is, like this habit that is like to stuff the feelings, you do not deserve to feel shame for anything. There is grief underneath that shame. Access the grief. Access the feelings. Kind of like the drinking is not the problem. The drinking is the thing that we use to cover the problem. Consider that. Okay? Okay. I hope that helps, Aries. Please do, if you ever feel like it, let me know down in the comments or shoot me a DM or whatever. I love to hear how this might be showing up in your life, or any reflections that come up for you as you're listening. Thanks, Aries. So now I'm going to move on to my fixed earth friends, Taurus, the bulls, Spirit. I want to look at the overall theme and energy of the coming week for my Taurus people, Taurus sun, Taurus moon, Taurus rising, and dominant folks, Spirit. What do Taurians need to know this week for their highest good? Okay. It's time to make a decision. Let's talk about it. Spirit, how is Taurus themselves showing up this week? How is their energy stepping forward and being perceived? We want to know how they're interacting with this energy and what you want them to know about themselves and their gifts for their highest good. Hey, looks like a Taurus to me, right? Okay. And when it comes to Taurus's money, work, jobs, career, projects, when it comes to their resources, Spirit, what do Taurus people need to know for their highest good? Their highest good. Wow. Okay. I'll say it before, I'll say it again. How many of y'all have Aries placements? Okay. What about Taurus's headspace in this coming week, Spirit? I'm hearing it's like Spirit is telling me this because they're telling you this. Slow down your breathing. Remember to inhale for 4, exhale for 8. Inhale for 4, exhale for 8. I don't have to belabor this point with a Taurus, but everything that will happen, everything that can be fruitful in the future happens in this moment. So remaining present and aware is going to do you a lot of good. And there's the reason Spirit is saying, hey, remember, if you get a little stuck in analysis paralysis, if you're overthinking things a little bit, Remember, Taurus, that you do your best work as an earth sign in your body, processing your emotions in your body. Okay. Spirit, I want to look at their feelings, the feelings and the relational life, the experience that Taurus is having this week that you want to highlight when it comes to their emotions, the way that they feel, the wave that they're on this week, Spirit. For Taurus, what do they need to know? Their highest good. What do they need to know for their highest good, Spirit? Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus rising and dominant people. Hey, love to see it. Okay, one more. Spirit for Taurus. I want to look at their fire, their energy. How is their energy showing up, and how do you want them to whoop? How do you want them to direct it? Well, Taurus, this could be what you're overthinking, right? So let's talk about it. Justice sitting right alongside the Knight of Pentacles. You are moving in the right direction. That's what I'm hearing. Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady, wins the race. Applied effort over time. Consistency over intensity is what I'm hearing. So like prizing consistency over intensity, which sounds, again, like a Taurus. So it sounds like you're in your element. Justice is saying that you have to weigh a really important choice this week, and you want to use your head and your heart. You want to seek some balance in that decision. Seeing this Two of Pentacles here, that looks good to me because it's another card of balance. So you might even be making a decision around your money or your job, like, oh, do I want to do this job or do I want to do that job? That's going to apply for some of you. Others of you, it's going to be like, oh, I'm balancing my budget. I'm paying off debts and opening up new portals for money to come in, a little at a time, easy, gently. Again, especially with that Knight of Pentacles, it's like the applied effort and the consistency is what's going to get you there. And then that Two of Pentacles just really underlines that with like gentle, easy effort, gentle, easy effort, back and forth, and then it will happen. So the Justice card reminds me also, it's like it's very well paced. She's sitting there. She's not up with this sword, like jumping to action. She's in deep consideration. Here it's Athena, god of wisdom, with her owl, who sees everything, who can turn its head 360 degrees, which is what Spirit is saying. So if you are getting a little too in your head about making this decision, looking at you, Eight of Swords, if you're getting a little over analytical and it's kind of freezing you up, a reminder to drop back into your body. Now that can look a lot of ways, really simple things. You know, of course, if you're a meditator, if you're here and you're getting your cards read, you might be a person who meditates. Meditation can be a really good way to do that. Not to, oh, let me clear my mind, but more like, let me sit here and feel the weight and density of my body against the chair or the floor or the bed or the cushion. Let me notice the rate of my breath. Let me notice the beat of my heart. And then as I tune into those things, all of this static can kind of fade into the background, and the right action can kind of bubble up to the surface. So if you're not a meditator, you could do that by going for a walk without your headphones in. You could do that by stopping everything you're doing and getting on the floor to do some stretching and listening to some good music, or dancing around while listening to that good music and saying, you know what, thoughts, y'all can wait. Y'all can wait for 5 or 10 minutes while I give myself a little dance break or a little walk break or a little shower or a little nap. And then I will come back and see what has come up for me. You have tons of love and support around you. 10 of Cups, wonderful, beautiful. Some of you might be like having weddings or engagements or births or celebrations of those things, like anniversaries and commemorations. 10 of Cups is being surrounded by loved ones of kind of all kinds. All my cups runneth over. Yes, it can certainly be romance. We see the wedding of Psyche and Eros depicted here, but it's also about family. It's about community. And reminder that when I say family, that is blood as well as chosen. So I see a beautiful coming together here. And hey, if we have to see the 10 of Wands over here, at least we have 10 cups to help douse that fire a little bit. So we see this figure locked up in their own wands. The golden fleece that they are seeking is just outside of this overwhelm. That's the message. Spirit's like, it's like, that's the post. That's the message, is if we can find our way out of this overwhelm, the golden fleece is right there. And Spirit's like, we don't mean muscle through it. We don't mean push, Spirit's like, this is pushing your head through a wall. This is going slow and steady and choosing. Now Spirit is saying sharpen the saw, because as I look at justice, they're saying choose right action, sharpen the saw. So you could run out right now with a dull saw and try to chop down a tree, right? But you would save yourself a lot of energy and a lot of time if you would do what might feel counterintuitive and take some time out to sharpen the saw, to improve your skills, to lay a little bit of runway or groundwork to get you there. This is connected to sharpening your saw, sharpening your skills, making sure that you are using the best and most up-to-date tools and resources at hand to help you get things done. Don't overburden yourself. If there's a way to outsource it or offset it, do that. I do hear again that there is something that you're going to want to be really decisive about, but you do not have to rush to that decision. You're allowed to say, okay, I'll get back to you in a couple days or a week or whatever it is, and to really let yourself find it. Okay? Okay. I hope that that helps, Taurus. It feels like you can definitely trust yourself, just as long as you are not rushing. And that's not stuff that we usually have to worry about with my Taurus people. Now, my Geminis who we're about to talk to, however, JK. I hope that helps, Taurus, truly. And as always, if you want to share anything about what you're feeling or what came up for you during the reading, I would love to hear it. And now, let's talk to Gemini, my mutable air people, friends, family, Gemini, sun, moon, rising, and dominant folks. Spirit, want to feel into Gemini energy this coming week. What is kind of the overall theme? Energy showing up around Gemini people. What kind of energy are they experiencing this week? And what do they need to know about it for their highest good? Overall energy and theme for Gemini. Gemini sun, Gemini moon, and Gemini rising people. My Gemini dominance. What do they need to know for their highest good this week? There's sometimes, I wonder if any of my tarot readers out there know what I'm talking about, where it's like the cards feel sticky, like, nope, not yet. Nope, not yet. Overall energy for Gemini. What they need to know, Spirit, for their highest good. Well. Old friend. We'll talk about it. Don't you worry, Gemini. And Spirit, how is Gemini themselves showing up? Gemini people this coming week, Spirit. How are my Geminis showing up? Beautiful. Okay. And I want to look at money, work, projects for Gemini people, Spirit, when it comes to their resources. What do Geminis need to know this week for their highest good? For their highest good, Spirit, what do they need to know about their job, their money, their resources? Hey, we love to see it. I'm hearing balance creates growth. Balance creates growth. So balancing your budget, balancing the way that you're spending your time, work this much, play this much, that kind of thing. We'll talk about it. Spirit, I want to look at Gemini's headspace. Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising and Dominant folks. What do they need to know when it comes to mind and communication? Okay. Leaving something behind, most certainly. Probably creating some room for some growth. Let's see. Okay, spirits. Now we want to look at Gemini's emotional life. When it comes to Gemini's feelings and relationships. Yay! Looks very Geminian to me. And finally, Spirit, we want to look at the spark in Gemini. Their inner fire, their excitement, will, and energy. How is their light showing up this week? And how is it being directed? Yeah, you're going to save a lot of energy by not playing any more games. That's what I'm hearing, Gemini. Okay, so overall energy and theme for the week: death, change, shutting a door, the end. I'm happy to see the Queen of Cups next to that death card, because the Queen of Cups has a scorpionic energy to her. She's full of depth. She's kind of unfuckwithable because you can't get her out of her depth. She comes from the depths. You know what I'm talking about? So Gemini, I feel like this ending, I feel for most of you, this is a celebration. I mean, Three of Cups is sitting right there, saying celebration, gathering with friends, people raising their glasses to you, having get-togethers with people that really understand you and get you and support you, as opposed to a more mixed bag. That's what I'm hearing, is kind of like some of you might be leaving behind a mixed bag of friends or community or coworkers, shutting the door, walking away, moving on to the next job or moving on to the next place or task. It feels good to me. It feels like this is not, you have better places to spend your time and energy, is what I'm hearing. So, what in your life, you know, the death card is not the Tower card. It's not, oh, something is falling apart. Things die a natural death. Conversations, connections, all kinds of things can die a natural death, and it isn't necessarily a catastrophe. You know what I mean? Again, I'll just draw that comparison where it's like the Tower is catastrophe. It feels catastrophic, right? Death can be like, oh yeah, I kind of felt that coming. I kind of felt that the connection to that person or that place was waning, and now I can feel that it's time to go ahead and gently shut the door behind me, because new things are offering themselves, new opportunities, new skills. Six of Pentacles, generosity given and received. I'm hearing circular economy. I'm hearing like the gift economy. If anybody knows the phrase that I'm talking about, wants to correct me, please do. But it's basically like when I share what I have to give, I create flow in my finances where, for example, even just something as simple as, oh, I've had this old dusty TV that is like, 8 years old, right? So it's like, it's fairly new by larger standards, but maybe it's old and you haven't used it because you bought one a year ago or 2 years ago and it's really way better, whatever, right? But it is gathering dust. So, maybe there is something or someone that I could give this to, donate this to, even give as a gift, like a hand-me-down gift. Um, and it will change that whole person's like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Whereas for you, it's not that amazing or not that exciting. And I'm hearing the same things about like an old laptop or shit like that, where it's like, this would change some other person's life. So if you want to share, expect to receive something to take up that space that you've courageously kind of cleared up. The Seven of Swords would also indicate offloading things that aren't yours to carry and not feeling guilty about it, not having to look over your shoulder about it. So, do you need to make yourself really clear with someone? Or alternatively, and I'm hearing both things. That's why, these are general readings. Gemini things get a lot more specific when I'm reading people one-on-one, but this is for all Geminis who choose to tune in and listen. It's like, do you need to make sure that you're being super duper clear so that nobody does feel like, oh, Gemini snuck out in the night and left me with this mess to clean up? Do you need to be really clear that, like, hey, I'm going to leave, I'm going to shut the light off and close the door and lock it behind me, bye? Or alternatively, do you need to sneak out and just like, well, I can't take everything with me, but I'm going to take the things that are most important to me and I'm going to go because this isn't it. This isn't working for me. Do what you need to do. I do feel that you are leaving a really unnecessary kind of conflict or battle behind. That Five of Wands is immature energy. What I'm hearing is you have a really good idea if you want to get serious about it. And that part is totally up to you. How serious do you want to get about this thing? Like, oh, I really want to start this podcast, this website, or this whatever. How serious are you? Are you just playing around, which is totally fine? But if you're just playing around, be aware of that. And if you do want things to like improve and grow, get more intentional, get more quote unquote serious about what you're doing with your wands, with your time, with your creativity. Because it looks like if you want something to grow, all the potential is there, but you do need to let the old things die off because that's part of the life cycle, right? The leaves fall from the trees and then they decompose, they nourish the ground, and they allow for fuller and more expansive growth of the tree from which they came. So, what from your life, habits, situations, places need to be left behind or to die, and die well? Like, that was thoroughly decomposed. I got everything that I possibly could from that, and now goodbye. And Spirit is saying that's a really wonderful way to say goodbye to jobs or relationships or phases of life where it's like, hey, you know what? There are many reasons why I have to leave this behind. And there are many reasons why I'm very grateful that we had the time that we did. They're this, and this. We're not lying to ourselves. We're not putting on false positivity. It's literally like, wow, thanks for the leaves that nourished my growth. Bye. You know what I'm talking about? I feel like you will be celebrated and celebrating. And also, if there are, Spirit is using the phrase like co-conspirators. If there are friends, co-hosts, and co-conspirators that you want to invite to help you with your project or your fun, it feels like they are abundant and available. So reach out to them, or they're going to be reaching out to you. One way or the other, it feels like community, fun, and friendship is on the motherfucking docket. Okay? Okay. I hope that this is helpful to you, Gemini. What are you putting to an end? What are you letting go because you're looking forward to more health and more focus, more progress, less kind of like fucking around and more fucking around and finding out. That's what I'm hearing. All right. Now, let's talk to Cancer people. Cancer sun, Cancer moon, Cancer rising, Cancer dominant people, Spirit. What do my moon children need to know this week for their highest good? What overall theme is showing up for Cancer people in this coming week? You want to share? Well, that's very Cancerian, isn't it? That's a deeply Cancerian card. We'll talk about it. Okay. And Spirit, how is Cancer themselves showing up this week? Their persona, how people are seeing them, the vibe they're transmitting. What do they need to know about their, wow, beautiful, bounty, abundance, fertility? Okay. Something is growing. Speaking of growing, let's look at your money. your resources, work, projects, career for Cancer people, Spirit. What is it that Cancer is cultivating? And what do you want them to know about their resources for their highest good, always and only their highest good, Spirit? Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Dominant folks. Okay. And next, Spirit, we want to look at their headspace, their mind. What's the brain, the head, the thoughts and words that Cancer experiencing this week? What is the mental realm looking like for Cancer? And what do they need to know about it? Their highest good. Choices. Between that Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Choices. What's working for me and what can be left behind? What is helping me create and grow? And what is keeping me in the same old spot? That's what I'm hearing. Okay, just a couple more, Spirit. Want to look at the feelings, the emotional and relational life of Cancers this week. What kind of energy do you want to highlight that is showing up for Cancer in the coming week? What do they need to know? Their highest good. Little nostalgia, little wistfulness, a little reflecting on the past. Again, big Cancer vibes. And finally, Spirit, want to look at the fire of Cancer, their energy, their will, their creativity and spirit. How is their fire showing up and being directed, Spirit? Cancer in the coming week. When it comes to fire. Wow. The creativity is off the charts. Brilliant idea. And I do feel like you are carrying this brilliant idea. Haha, we have a pregnant lady right here. I feel like you are carrying this idea forward. You are carrying this idea to fruition. There might be a couple things that you want to get out of your way so that you can, I don't mean get there faster, but get there fuller. That's what I'm really hearing. So, your overall theme and energy for the week, Cancer, it's the Empress card, it's the Mother card, maternal, nurturing, and the ultimate creator. It's not the Cancer card by tarot standards, but it's quite Cancerian. I mean, we see the water in the background. And then you are showing up as a Knight of Pentacles. So the Empress represents this tremendous creative energy. She is also the womb. It's like, if I have this idea or this goal or this dream, whatever this Ace of Wands is for you, this spark that lights you up where it's like, if this could grow into a whole fire, I would be so enchanted and delighted. Whatever that is for you, how are you incubating it? The Empress is a creative incubator. They're using that phrase very deliberately. Are you creating a really safe container around your flame? Is your flame protected from, the 100-mile-per-hour winds of your doubts or the doubts of your detractors that can sneak into your mind and disrupt? How are you incubating your creativity? Do you need to be a little more deliberate about, like, okay, I have this writing project, or I have this craft that I want to get better at. I need to create a schedule or whatever. I need to create a container where it can flourish. You know what I'm talking about? So, what kind of steps and plan, putting one foot in front of the other, what kind of steps and plan would allow that creativity to be incubated and to flourish? And the other thing about the Empress is that she implies that if this Ace of Wands, again, is incubated properly, the beautiful, fiery, glorious dream that you want it to become will become. It's about creating the conditions for the growth to happen, not so much like, what's the perfect strategy? or what's the exact action plan to take for my wand to grow and grow and grow. It's how are you taking care of yourself? How are you creating the conditions for that light to grow? Seven of Pentacles implies that it's time to take a step back and look at what you've been doing. Like when it comes to work, projects, money, your resources, what's working and what's not. Do a little energy audit. How are my habits and my way of spending, air quotes, spending my resources, which are, yes, money, but also time and effort? How am I spending them? What has been working great and what hasn't? It's kind of, for some of us that might be creators, it's taking a look at the analytics and being really earthy about it, like down to earth. Okay, flat out, when I post things like this, it gets traction like this. When I post things like that, it gets nothing. That kind of thing, where you're not judging yourself for it. You're just being really like a farmer. You, the farmer, right? If you plant some squash and you plant some cabbage, right? And the squash does great, but the cabbage does like shit, you're not like, wow, I'm a terrible, dumb idiot because my cabbage didn't flourish. It's like, oh, I guess the conditions are really good for the squash to flourish. So maybe I stop putting so much energy into this cabbage for now and I put it into planting more squash because the squash is going great. You know what I'm talking about? Don't feel bad about leaving the cabbage behind. That's what Spirit is saying, because Spirit is funny. So, Seven of Swords, though, what do the sevens have in common? You don't put seven legs on a table. Either you take one away or you add one, or else you got a wonky table. So, what needs to go, especially in the case of the Seven of Swords, and particularly maybe like patterns of thought that aren't working for you? Are you doing, experience any kind of like self-sabotaging thoughts that you really want to clear out? Get clear about that. This is a good time to drop that sword. It's a good time to walk away from battles and projects and like dynamics that steal your energy. And that's what I'm hearing. Like, I know that sounds extreme. It's really not. Like, we all have a family member, right? That like, oops, when I leave that person's company, it's like I feel like my energy got sucked dry. It's okay to do less of what sucks you dry, especially when you have something so juicy that you were trying to take all the way to a finish line. Okay? Six of Cups, reflect. It relates in that way to that Seven of Pentacles, is like taking a step back, doing a retrospective. That's what Spirit is saying. And they're also saying, Cancer, that this would be a good week to reflect on parts of you from your past. Maybe your 13-year-old self, your 8-year-old self, and you might want to speak back to them or write them a little letter. If there is some memory that comes up around this time of year, and this is what Spirit is saying, if there's like a memory or a person or whatever that it's like, oh, I get really wistful around this time of year, or I get really reflective of like what happened or what could have happened or whatever, fill in the blank. Consider why that is coming up, and you can, without even ever sending an actual letter or text or making a phone call, you can speak to whether there are other people from your deep past or other versions of yourself. Speak to them, and then don't be surprised that even if, again, you only spoke it in your mind, that something comes through that feels like a synchronicity to let you know that your message was heard or understood, or that you're free to go. That's what I'm hearing, which is really interesting. Let me know, Cancer, please. As always, like, I am super duper curious. But no matter what, this week, no matter what you do, make sure to do, as you're looking at the way that you're spending your time and the way that you are, Spirit's like the way that you're spending your time and money and effort, and also the way that you're quote unquote spending your thoughts. Think about them and think about what could be cleared away to make room for your fire to grow. your creativity, something that excites you. When we talk about creativity, a lot of people can get stuck on maybe like maybe they're not necessarily an artist, or they don't think of themselves as a creative person. Creativity, like, I mean, have fun. I mean, something that lights you up. So um, if playing games outdoors with your friends, or open, it's like starting a league of something, lights you up, then that was what we could consider to be creative. Some of you are definitely, artists, dancers, actors, writers, but some of you like to make things with your hands and you don't even think of it as creative, but it's like, yeah, you build chairs. That's fucking creative. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Allow your creativity to flourish this week. It looks like it will. And with a few tweaks, it could be magnificent. It's like it happens naturally, and with a couple tweaks, it could be really, really, really magnificent. I hope that that helps, Cancer. How you feel? Stories, reflections, comments? Is this already coming up for you in any way? Let me know. Okay, quick coffee sip break. I invite you to join me. Gotta keep them caffeinated. Okay. Now, let's move on to my fixed fire friends. Let's talk to Leo. Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising, and Dominant People Spirit. I want to ask, what is the overall energy or theme that Leo people will be experiencing or encountering or even embodying this week? What do you want to share with Leo for their highest good about the kind of theme they're experiencing this week? Hey, we love to see it. Okay. All right. And Spirit, we want to look at Leo themselves, how Leo is showing up this week. Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising, and Dominant People. Spirit, how are Leos showing up this week, and what do they need to know about how they're showing up and interacting with their theme for their highest good? What do you need Leo to know about how they're showing up for their highest good? There's some balance, okay? And what about money, Spirit? When it comes to money, projects, career, budgets, when it comes to money and resources, Spirit, what do you want Leo to know for their highest good? In the coming week, Spirit, what is showing up for Leo people around work and money? Okay, we'll talk about it. What about their thoughts? Thoughts, words, communications, Spirit, what's going on in the mind of Leo people this week? A theme. You might notice some similarities between these characters, both moving away from something. Spirit is singing Fleetwood Mac, You Can Go Your Own Way. I don't know, the Emperor would agree. We'll talk about it. Okay, Spirit, for Leo, want to look at their heart, the realm of emotions, feelings, relationships for Leo people. Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising, and Leo Dominant people. In this coming week, Spirit, what kind of emotions are they experiencing? Hey, any of you have Cancer placements? Okay, and finally, Spirit, what about Leo's own element? Leo's fire, their spirit, their will, their creativity and energy. How is it showing up? And how do you recommend that Leo direct their energy for their highest good, Spirit? How are they interacting with it? Hey, we love to see it. Okay. 5, 6, 7. Okay. So Leo, the Emperor, the King, right? The Emperor is First principles is the fucking phrase that Spirit is giving me, which is not something that I hear all the time. That's fun. First principles. Spirit's like basics, fundamentals. What are your rules? How is your organization? Are you, are you setting yourself up for success? We see success is here. So it might be a little unconventional. Some of you might be doing something where it's very much like, this is my own thing, this is my own business, or this is my own project, or this is my own idea. Looks fucking good. You might have to shed some dead weight. You might, this is interesting. Spirit is saying it might come through looking slightly different than what you expected, but you will be glad about it. So please don't think that that means that you won't like it as much. I don't know why they're saying that, Leo. We'll figure it out. Okay. So the Emperor, you're on top of it. You're building something. The world is in your hands. You are in charge. That's the phrase that I'm hearing. You're in charge, which Leo thinks, right? So Queen of Cups, beautifully, again, Leo things, the Queen of Cups rules with her heart. She trusts her emotions. She is never overwhelmed by her emotions. Queen of Cups saying is also showing up and saying that you might be appearing in a nurturing role for others, helping other people sort out their emotions. Perhaps for some of you, this is even related to this Emperor victory situation. When in doubt, use your heart. The Emperor is saying that you're showing up with all kinds of strength and like um, vivaciousness, vibrancy. No one's going to mistake you for like a shy and retiring violet. Okay. So just because I say use your heart and, listen to your feelings, and Spirit is making a distinction here. Listening to your feelings is not the same as listening to, or going by your triggers. So somebody can make you like, or somebody can do something that in a moment makes you feel a way, but that isn't necessarily how you feel, capital F. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, when the person misunderstood what I was saying, they said something that really pissed me off, but it's not like I think that that person doesn't understand me. They just didn't understand me in that moment. You know what I mean? The queen does not get caught up in the small little whirlpools because she has the capacity to contain the whole sea. It feels like I'm hearing emotional leader. So, whether you do it as work or whether you're just showing up as supremely competent and confident, you're helping people through emotional waters this week. So, when it comes to money, jobs, resources, Five of Pentacles would imply tightening your belt. It would imply that you are not, I'm hearing again, it's like unconventional. I'm not doing things the way that everybody else is doing things. That's maybe why I'm doing my own thing, because this is kind of like over here, back here. This is institutional authority. In the Rider Waite version of the card, it's they're walking out in the snow, walking by a temple or a church. So again, institutional religious authority, things that would give us the benefit of their protection, but we have decided for whatever reason that we need to go our own way. Now, Leo, you're going to be the one to know, am I like putting myself through suffering that is unnecessary when there's help available? Or am I an iconoclast who is saying, no, I choose to walk away from these types of protections because what I'm doing can't be done like can't be done the way that everybody else wants me to do it. I need to do it. I need to change the world. That's how some of you feel. So when it comes to your mind, Seven of Swords, there's probably an unnecessary battle that you do not need to take up arms in. That's what I'm hearing is like you could get all geared up, you could strap on all the armor, you could get ready to go to war, but Spirit's like, I think instead you should go to peace. So if there's a situation where you're just like, you know what, maybe this used to get me all riled up, or this used to be like something I felt like fighting for, not anymore. especially not when I have such important things to do. I have places to go. So, you know what? I'm going to leave the battle behind. I have more important things to do with my mind and my words than fight that. You know? Six of Cups. There's some wistfulness, there's some nostalgia, there are some memories, and looking back, Six of Cups is a very sweet energy. You might be having a little bit of a reunion. You might get a call from an old friend or like even an ex or whatever, and that could be where the Queen of Cups comes in of like, oh, I'm not going to get caught up in any little whirlpools. I can be there for this person, and also like I can separate myself from anything that feels like, oh, I don't need to be involved in that. You know what I'm talking about? Six of Cups says, you know, it's similar to the Seven of Swords in the sense of be open. Don't take up arms and don't put on armor. Six of Cups says you can be open. You can even show up as like naive and sweet and just be your whole self. And it looks like that brings victory. And if any of you are wondering, like, man, can I do it? Can I get to victory even without that institutional protection or authority? Yes, you can. Now, what do you need to do that? There's a balance here of quote unquote feminine and masculine. We could also say solar and lunar. So the emperor can create really safe rules and schedules and organizations that allow the Queen of Cups to flourish within those safe walls, right? You know, if you think about water and how it fits to whatever container you create for it, you have this massive amount of creativity, of understanding, of power that if you just put that in the right container, it could generate enough, you know, electricity or power to make anything happen. Leo fire, Leo victory, being noticed, being appreciated, being regarded as a winner in your field, being seen for the skills that you possess. Show off, let them know, and you have what it takes, so don't limit yourself to sticking with anything that doesn't feel right or feels even constrictive to what it is you're trying to do. You're going to be all right, even if it's quote unquote on your own. Okay? Okay. You know what any of that is, Leo? Is any of this already going on in your life? If you ever have stories, questions, comments, you know, I love to hear them. I'm a Leo rising myself. Okay. So now let's move on to mutable earth, Virgo. My Virgo people. Spirit, want to tune in for Virgo, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising, and Virgo dominant people. In the coming week, what do my Virgos need to know, Spirit? Wow, this just, you've heard that. You heard it like flick out. What do my Virgos need to know if their highest good this coming week? You've got a really great choice. A great choice to make. Okay, we'll talk about it. But first, Spirit, I want to see how is Virgo showing up? Virgo. What is their persona this week? What kind of energy are they radiating? What is their vibe? And what do you want to help them embody for their highest good? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. In your element, Virgo. Okay. Wow. Yikes. Okay. So when it comes to money, work, projects, budgets, when it comes to Virgo's resources, Spirit, what do my Virgo people need to know this week? Hey, this is a blast of a reading. Well, right now, Virgo, gosh, this is wonderful. Okay. So again, Spirit, when it comes to Virgo's headspace, the mental realm, the kind of words they're thinking, saying, and hearing. What's going on in the realm of swords for Virgo? Just winning, 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 and winning. Love to see it. Okay. And emotionally, Spirit, the realm of feelings, relationships, What's going on in the emotional realm for Virgo this week? What do you want to highlight for their highest good? Gosh, this is great, Virgo. Come on. All right. And finally, Spirit. What about their energy, their creativity, their will, their fire? How is their fire showing up, and how do you want to help them direct it for their highest good? Wow, what an awesome reading. Something really exciting is starting this week. That's what I'm hearing, Virgo. So, the lovers, Spirit is saying divine appointment. That is a really interesting phrase. So, you may meet someone by divine appointment. Of course, when people see the lovers, we can get really like excited and we can start projecting all kinds of things like romance, right? Which may definitely occur for some Virgo people. But the lovers goes beyond romantic love. It is ecstatic union with life. Like, wow, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be at the exact right time for this fusion to occur. I don't know how many of you like Spirit's talking about fusion, and then they showed me like Steven Universe. I don't even know Steven Universe that well, even though I should. So that's coming through for certain Virgos who love to watch that show, where it's like a fusion of two aspects of yourself, a fusion between you and like a partner in creativity or in love. What would really excite you? What decision could you make this week? And Spirit is saying, going further, what commitment could you make this week that you would feel so joyous, so excited, so full of energy and like enthusiasm to go after? Page of Pentacles. You show up in your element. A Page of Pentacles, pages are beginners, they're messengers. They are, Spirit is saying, you expect some divine earth centric synchronicities. And if you don't know where to get those, go for a walk with your phone staying in your pocket the whole time. No headphones allowed. Look at the sky, look at the ground, listen. What are you noticing? What kinds of animals are you seeing? Are your eyes drawn to a massive ant pile where there's all this building going on, or are they drawn to all the falling leaves from the trees and how what has fallen nourishes what is left? What kinds of signs, earth-centric synchronicities, are you receiving? Notice, be available. Consider yourself like a receiver of messages from Spirit in whatever way. Some of you already feel that way. Embrace that, enact it, embody it. um, a Page of Pentacles is also an enthusiastic beginner. So, yes, you could be starting something very new to you. Like, I don't know, but I'm going to go for it. And that's what I'm hearing for some of you. And for others of you, you're not a beginner at this thing, but it's like, I benefit from coming at it with a beginner's mind, a student's approach, that there is always more to learn, right? And we all know, Virgo, that the best students make the best teachers, because they know that, like, oh, I'm always open to learning. I always want to know more. I never get stuck. I never get calcified. I never get, Spirit is like, I don't get high on my own supply. I'm always learning. There's always more. Okay. Now, beautiful, and almost ironically, it's like the Nine of Pentacles is an expert. The Nine of Pentacles is the one man, one woman, one person show. I'm doing this. This is my business, or this is my craft, or this is my book, or this is my fill in the blank. One person show. And Nine of Pentacles is being able to really appreciate how far you've already come. Like, wow, look what I've built. Look what I've grown. Look what I've cultivated. So you could get some form of congratulations this week around your money. You could also just receive like a windfall of money. And it feels like it is appropriate. It feels like, wow, I really worked for this. I really invested. And now here come my returns. And now Spirit is saying, for some of you, that comes through in a different way than money. Like, you could have been plugging away at a social media account or a YouTube channel. And it's like, wow, look at the very tangible jump in subscribers or patrons or whatever. And you can see the tangible results of the work that you're putting in. One way or another, it's like celebrate what you've done so far and expect, bless you. Mama Cat is just out of frame watching me read these cards. Appreciate what you've done and expect to receive appreciation from others. And please do not, false modesty your way out of it. I feel that something reaches, it's like, wow, I'm hearing beginnings and endings. So it's like one thing reaches completion and that creates room to start this other new thing. So you might either literally have finished up a project or a series or something, and then it's like, okay, now I'm moving on to this next thing. Or for some of you, it's like, okay, I've worked really hard on this over here. I'm really proud of how far I've come. And now I want to put my focus over on this new idea that I have. So it looks really wonderful. No matter what the situation, when it comes to your finances, it looks like you are doing a good job of taking care of yourself. For some of you, that might look like a big pile of money. For others of you, it may look like a big pile of skills. Okay? Either way, appreciate what you have cultivated and created for yourself. Okay. Beautiful. Love it. Like, listen, whenever we wade into the mental realm, the realm of the swords, the likelihood, even just statistically, looking at what the swords cards are and what they indicate, is like, ooh, static is almost guaranteed. But here's the Four of Swords: clarity. Clarity, simplicity, minimalism. Spirit's like mental minimalism. I don't need my brain full of things. I actually need a lot. Ooh, hello, earthquake. I actually need a lot of space so that my ideas can, catch fire. So these sparks can grow. So if you're not feeling already a sense of meditative calm or being in a state of recovery, perhaps after a time of a lot of mental activity, then it's time to go and seek that out and create that for yourself. So, looking at your calendar now and taking a few minutes to think, like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to set up a break time over here. I'm going to make sure that I get a nap on this day so that I'm really energized and charged up for XYZ. It's making sure that you have a nice, clean mental canvas. So, if you need to get your thoughts in order, I'd recommend things like journaling. Could also just recommend things like letting your mind get clear by taking a walk, taking a bath, um, letting yourself do a craft or some kind of mechanical work that gets you out of your mind and into your body. So that could look like playing guitar, that could look like painting a picture, that could look like cooking a meal, where it's like, oh, I have to focus enough on this one thing that I'm doing that it allows the rest of my mind to kind of wander without me even knowing it and arrive at solutions and Spirit is saying synthesize solutions that I didn't have before. So I might think that, okay, I have this problem or I have this idea. The thing that I need to do is like sit down and really work on this idea and really think. And it's like, no, actually, like, let's move out of our own way and let it's now Spirit is talking about, when we talk about meditation and the blue sky, how there's always a blue sky behind whatever type of mental weather we're experiencing. We might be going through a mental hurricane, might be going through a mental tornado. Behind the tornado, behind the hurricane, there's a blue sky. So it's not about, we're not looking at the hurricane or we're not looking at the tornado. It's remembering that even when the hurricane and the tornado is happening, that there will be blue sky available. There will be space available beyond that. So find and cultivate and embrace your blue sky. It will probably help you synthesize, and hello, that's another good word for that Lover's card. It will probably help you synthesize an amazing solution. Three of Cups, you won't be doing it alone. Three of Cups says, as much as, this Nine of Pentacles says you're self-made and you ought to be patting yourself on the back, Three of Cups says there will be a joyful, like, gathering, a celebration of you, people raising their glasses to you, making you feel good, making you feel important, making you feel loved. I'd love to see that. And it also, when I see the Three of Cups and the Lovers, it makes me wonder how many of you might be celebrating an anniversary this week, or like getting engaged, or just throwing a party, being with the people that you love the most. Looks really, really wonderful. And also, I would say that bringing in some other perspectives and bringing in people with a different kind of energy than you might also really help with that creativity and that synthesis. So, is there like a, whether romantic or divine creative partner that you want to proposition or propose to? This might be a really good time to do that. So, Ace of Wands, your energy, your fire, Virgo, you've got a spark in you. You have an idea, a vision that Spirit is saying it's hypnotic. It's hypnotic the way that, you know, you could stare at a flame, a single flame, and it can be very hypnotic. So, you want to be sure that you take this amazing flame, this hypnotic potential, and you don't allow yourself to actually get hypnotized by it so much that you are not creating the container that it needs, so that you are expanding upon it. It will be hypnotic for others as much as it is for you. So you've got to be strong enough to, as hypnotic as it is, to make room for it to grow and change, rather than it's like I'm using the word hypnotic because Spirit is showing me that an idea, an inspiration can be perfect inside of our mind, and then when we bring it outside of our mind, we're subjecting it to, you know, kind of like our 100-mile-per-hour doubts, and the doubts and worries and detractions of others, and etc. And you want to give this the right amount of protection and the right amount of room to grow. Again, much like a candle, it's like it is contained, but there's also within this container plenty of the stuff that this flame needs to be able to grow. Okay? Get with people that already know and love you. They're going to help add to your growth and your fire, your creative gifts. I'm seeing it. How do you feel, Virgo? How's that hitting you? What's it bringing up for you? Do your girl a favor. Let her know. Ask a question. Share a story. I love to hear it. Send me a DM. Shit, whatever you want. I just love to hear how these things are playing out for people that I read for. Okay. So now let's move on to Cardinal Air. Let's talk to my Libra folks. Libra Sun, Libra Moon, Libra Rising, and Dominant People Spirit. When it comes to my people who were guided and brought into the world under the constellation of Libra, what do they need to know this week? What is the overall theme showing up for Libra this week? Woohoo! Change, progress, forward motion is what I'm hearing. Spirit is singing, wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Okay. It is almost a change of season. It's almost upon us. Okay, Spirit. So when it comes to Libra's persona, how is Libra showing up this week? How are they showing up? What aspects, what characteristics do you want to highlight for Libra this week? And how do you want to show us that they're interacting with this energy? You're in your element, Libra. You're in the airy element. Page of Swords, messengers, messages sent and received. We'll talk about it. But first, Spirit, I want to know about Libra's money. Money, projects, work, resources. What does Libra need to know this week for their highest good when it comes to their pentacles, Spirit? When it comes to the money, the skills, the resources of Libra, what do they need to know? Okay. And what about the mental realm? What about their thoughts? their headspace. What is going on in the mind of Libra? Hey, that's good to know. And Spirit, what about the heart? What about the emotional realm? What about the feelings and relationships in the lives of Libras? What do they need to know about when it comes to their cups this week? Hey. Okay. And one more, Spirit. Want to look at the energy, the creativity, the will, the fire of Libra this week. How is their fire showing up? And how would you guide them to direct it, Spirit? 9 of Wands. We're on the edge of something. It's like hold on tight. Stay vigilant. So, Wheel of Fortune. Love to see it. It is progress, it is movement, it is a change of season. And I feel like you have been craving that, especially when we see this 9 of Wands of like, okay, I've been at this for a long time. Like when you heard, hold steady, hold on, keep going, you're probably like, oh my God, are you fucking serious? What I really want to do is cut some shit off. Okay, and listen, we have the 3 fates here, and one of them is holding her scissors. Part of the Wheel of Fortune, part of the reason that we're able to move forward in life is when we cut ourselves loose from things or ideas or dynamics that were keeping us fettered, is actually the word that I'm hearing, like being unfettered and like set loose versus hemmed in. If you're feeling a little hemmed in, Page of Swords says you can change it up. You might have a little bit of an abrupt or an unpleasant like exchange. You might have to say something that is a little bit sharp, or you might get the impression of sharpness or immaturity from another person. I'm not too worried about you, Libra. Don't, of course, I don't have to belabor this point with Libra people. Do be careful of your words. Whenever I see the Page of Swords, I do want to say, don't say anything that you will regret. If a phrase wants to come flying out of your mouth because, a reaction is triggered by the behavior of someone else, you might want to bite those words back and give them just a few more seconds of extra thought rather than just letting them fly out. Because a couple of seconds of extra thought might be, if I change this one word, or if I change the order of these words, they're going to be much better received than if I just blurted this out. You know what I'm talking about? And if somebody else should come at you with that type of energy where it's like, wow, they really just blurted that shit out and that shit hurt my feelings, you tell them. Spirit's like, that's not the time to bite back your words. We would never tell you, swallow what it is that you want to say because you need to be nice. No, it's what is more effective? What is going to actually get me what it is that I want, and how do I formulate that message? Libras are experts on that. So there might be some energy that encourages abruptness or shortness or terseness. Knowing that, having this reading in your back pocket, breathe deep, meditate, take a pause. If you need to say, you know what, I can't answer that question right now. I'll get right back to, or I'll get back to you in a day, or I'll get back to you next week, or I'll get back to you in an hour. Say it. Take your time. Don't allow yourself to be rushed. Things are moving and the season is changing. Things are moving, moving, moving. You don't need to rush. You don't need to Spirit is saying, don't make it your job to solve other people's conflicts or soothe other people's emotions, because then you're never going to have time for anything else. Okay? So be true to yourself. Do the things that help you feel like you are moving forward and continuing to grow. I say that in part because sitting here in the realm of your resources, your money, your budget, your projects, 4 of Pentacles, it's a little bit like constipated. It's a little bit like, I'm afraid that I won't have enough, so maybe I'm going to hold this back, when it feels like the opposite would be the better mode. So Page of Swords, you're not blurting it out, and you're certainly not rushing it out, but you're also not holding it in. Four of Pentacles would indicate that there's definitely enough. It's like there's enough money, or there's enough resources, or there's enough time, but you might be feeling a little bit fucking tight around that. And if you're feeling tight, the recommendation would be to give what you want the most. If you're feeling a little tight around, like, oh, I want more love, or I want more attention, or I want people to notice what it is that I'm working on or doing or creating more, go and give that. Go and compliment other people's work. Go and give a little bit of money to a cause or a person or a group that you care about and that you align yourself with. So it's like, if I feel like I'm broke, I can remember that some people literally have nothing. So I can be sitting here looking at other people going like, well, look at them and how they're able to do that. Meanwhile, I'm holding all this gold. You know what I'm talking about? So Libra, make sure that you are not being tight with even your judgments of other people and the way that they handle themselves. Okay? And if that tightness or that urge to judge or to rush to change something shows up, sit with it, notice it, just observe your thoughts, is what I'm hearing as I look at the Four of Swords. It's like watching the clouds go by on the sky, like, oh, look at that. I'm thinking that that person is judging me, when actually maybe I'm judging myself and I'm projecting that judgment onto them. You know what I'm talking about? Because as you sort things out and gain clarity for yourself, you're not going to be clogged up or distracted by stuff that's not true, or just that just doesn't fucking matter. Even if it is true, it's like, oh, that person is judging me. Does it matter? Is that person the president of the United States? Is that person like somebody who has, your freedom or your money in their hands? Then if not, don't worry about it. What did RuPaul say? Like, unless they're paying your bills, pay them bitches no mind. That. Beautifully, in the realm of your emotions, I'm hearing the word breakthrough. So Ace of Cups is a floodgate bursting, a dam coming down. We could have a sudden rush of tears, or a sudden rush of forgiveness, or a sudden rush of understanding and peace. The Ace of Cups can also be about falling in love, or falling into deep emotional waters. It doesn't have to be romantic love. It could be like the oh, we're pregnant, or the arrival of a baby, or a new member of the family. Ace of Cups, no matter what form it takes, there's a rush of love, and love that changes the landscape. That's what I'm hearing. So again, if you've been feeling clogged up, or like you've been sitting still, or you've been doing the same thing for a really long time, this week messages or emotions come in that move things forward quite quickly. So even though you may not want to hear, hold on, keep going and stay vigilant, you're closer than you think to one of the destinations that you want to get to. It's like on the other side of a little bit more struggle, or on the other side of a little bit more endurance, I will reach the shore. I am being moved in the right direction, and I'm not going to try to hold on to any one part of this journey. Spirit is saying that as I look at the Wheel of Fortune. It's like life moves in arcs and cycles and circles. And when we start getting confused and thinking that life is made out of peaks, and it's like you get to the peak and then you gotta stay there at the peak. It's like, no, the whole thing goes do 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 do. You know what I'm saying? Ups and downs, ups and downs. And we want to ride the ups and the downs with as much grace and openness and receptivity to what it is they have to offer us and teach us as possible. So, Libra, when in doubt, make space, give what you want the most. That is going to help you get to shore. Not holding on to what you have, but giving and sharing what you have. Okay? Okay. How's that sound, Libra? What's that make you feel? I'm hearing magic is in the air. Wheel of Fortune. You wanted a phase change. Here it is. I'm excited for you, and I would love to hear if y'all got questions, comments, stories. Share away. And now let's move on to my fixed water friends, Scorpio. Still waters run deep, Scorpio. Spirit. Want to tune in for Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, Stellium, and Dominant People. For those who are embraced by the constellation of Scorpio, Spirit, what is the overall theme and energy showing up for these people in the coming week? For Scorpio, Spirit, what is Scorpio going through this week? Hey, love to see it. Okay. Wondering if you have any Cancer placements right off the bat, my watery friends. Let me know if you do. Spirit might be doubling down on a message, so if you do, you might want to listen to that Cancer reading. Okay, so Spirit, how is Scorpio themselves showing up? How are they interacting with that overall energy and theme? What element and what style is Scorpio showing up with this week? What do they need to know for their highest good? Wow, that's harmonious as hell. We love it. Okay. And very scorpionic. You're definitely in your element. Okay, Spirit. And when it comes to money, projects, work, budgets, what's happening in the realm of resources for Scorpio this week? Progress and collaboration. Love to see that with the Empress. The Empress is number 3. And then to see the 3 of Pentacles. 3 is the number of manifestation. It's a number of synthesis. So let's keep going. Let's see what else we got on the menu for Scorpio. What about the mental menu, Spirit? When it comes to the headspace, the realm of thoughts and communications, what kind of climate is Scorpio working with? Putting something to death, putting something to an end. Okay. And what about emotions, Spirit? What about the realm of feelings for Scorpio? Feelings, emotions, and relationships for my Scorpio people. What is showing up for them in the coming week? Okay. And finally, how is their energy showing up, Spirit? How is the will, the fire, the drive in Scorpio showing up this week? What's their energy like? Wow. Well, listen, when you want something new to happen, we have to let the old shit die. Okay, so Scorpio, beautiful overall energy for this week. Bounty, beauty, nurturing, abundance. The Empress is the mother card. It's protective. It is also the card of ultimate creativity. You know, what is a mother but the ultimate creator? Like, I created a whole ass new life that will give birth to its own lives, right? So, and especially sitting next to that Queen of Cups, I mean, the headline is some of you may be mothers or parents, right? Some of you may be those ultimate nurturers, and some of you are mothering people in a completely different way, where it's like, no, I'm a mother to my clients, right? Like, I'm a really wonderful therapist or psychologist or doula, healer. I'm hearing that some of you are not so much like, I won't say typical, but it's like not a corporate, you know, not a doctor, but a healer. That's what I feel when I'm looking at that Queen of Cups. So there's so much creativity and so much nourishing and nurturing that is showing up in this energy this week. You're building something. Oh, you know what? Let me amend that. You're cultivating something. You're creating something. And you need to clear some stuff that is boring or stagnant or just like taking up too much of your bandwidth. Okay. 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles is a milestone. It's a sign of early success. So something that you're working on, something that you're again cultivating, creating, building, growing, you get like a sign this week that things are moving in the right direction. That's what I'm hearing. So it's like a return on your investment or reaching a milestone in a project or finding the right collaborators to keep going. Looks really wonderful. Now, in that mental realm, we cannot ignore the 10 of motherfucking swords, right? We can't ignore that the 10 of swords says something has been done to death. It's okay to dust your hands off of the grave dirt and go ahead and walk away. You did everything that you could. You tried everything, you said everything, you convinced, you cajoled, you persuaded, you perused, all that shit. And ultimately, it was not meant to be. And that's what I'm hearing. Okay. And I know that that can be fucking like, oh, are we calling that comfort, bitch? Are we calling that the coldest motherfucking comfort you've ever tried to offer me in your whole life? Well, sometimes knowing that we gave it our all has to be enough and is enough. Not everything is within our control, is something that Spirit is saying. So it's like if we are making something our fault because it didn't happen or it didn't go through or it didn't go exactly the way we wanted, we're probably miscalculating. And if I know Scorpio people, you don't want to bullshit yourself. So don't bullshit yourself that this thing ending is because you weren't good enough or whatever. Like fill in the blank with your personal poison, okay? Like the other thing is about this 10 of swords. Spirit is saying that, you have to realize you have a problem to fix the problem. So sometimes it doesn't feel so good to be like, "Oh my god, this is all fucked up." And it's what can lead to the sun rising in our life from going from a period of total darkness, like, you know what? Nope, I'm just going to live in this darkness. I'm just going to accept that this is how it is. No. There's a realization and a recognition of like, this is a problem, or this is not working, or this is fucked up, and this has to change. And then the sun can rise in your life. You've got so much goodness in this spread that this 10 of swords barely bothers me because it feels like something that is it's like almost I don't feel like I have to like over explain this to you. I feel like this thing that is dead or dying or about to be over, you know what it is, and it's almost like a relief. So if any of you are feeling at all guilty about having relief over something ending, quit that shit. You did your best. You're exhausted. It's like either you're exhausted or you've exhausted every effort and opportunity, and you can let it go and you can trust. Um, I know that it can sound cliched. I know that it can sound bypassy, and that's not what I'm talking about when I say you can accept that this wasn't for you, and that the sooner you move on from something that wasn't for you, the sooner the thing that really is for you and is going to be wonderful and life affirming has a chance to come in. Okay? Okay. So I say that in part because in the emotional realm here in the Four of Cups, there is a sense of, ugh, I'm waiting for this exact thing, right? Like, as in, I'm waiting for this person to come back to me, or I'm waiting for this job to come through, and it can't be another job, and it can't be another person. This is how it needs to come through this pinhole, okay, Spirit? This is the space with which I have to receive a miracle in my life. It is a motherfucking there. Can you squeeze my miracle through that for me, please? Okay, thank you. Spirit's like, open up your eyes, open up your opportunities. Open up, like, widen your gaze, soften your gaze. You know how this is funny, but this is what Spirit is saying is human beings have the eyes of predators. If you think about animals in nature that are predators and prey, You might notice that predators have their eyes right in the front of their face so they can focus on what is right in front of them, like lions, right? Like lions, like fucking alligators, etc. When you think about prey animals, animals that aren't necessarily carnivorous or animals that are just typically eaten in nature, like antelopes or fish, it's like their eyes are on either side of their head. They have a very wide gaze. They're able to take in the panorama. They're not built to go after what is always just what's in front of their face. You know what I'm saying? So spirit is like, you might be a little too focused on what's right in front of your face. And it's time to engage your kind of like spiritual peripheral vision. Like, oh, you're telling me I kind of have, you know, those what the blinders that they put on racehorses so that they can only look right in front of them. It's like making them into artificial predators. Spirit's like, we want to take those off. You might have a very limited view of how your miracle can come, and that might be making it just take longer. You know, like when I open up, oh, surprise, here comes a miracle. Hello. Ace of Wands, realization, epiphany, inspiration, inspired action. Like, yeah, you know what? When I stop talking shit to myself, some pretty amazing things can happen and grow and be received. Protect your creativity, protect your sweetheart. I don't mean put armor on it. I mean treasure it. I mean don't let your thoughts stick pins in it. Don't let other people's thoughts or perceptions or whatever's put pins in it. This is yours. Take care of it as such. Okay. How does that feel, Scorpio? Do you know what this is? Are any of you, it's like, as I'm saying this, is like I'm hearing screenplay is just one of the things that I'm hearing. Like so many of you are working on all these different types of projects or like creating a family. All forms that create, like all kinds of forms that creativity can take. So what is it for you, Scorpio? And don't don't put yourself down about it. That doesn't help you be more creative. You know, like there might be a mistake in your mind that's like, again, same kind of thing as the pinhole where it's like, this is when I know it'll be perfect. Don't try to make it perfect. Try to make it come alive. Try to have fun. That's going to create a much better result. Okay? Okay. So now let's move on to mutable fire. Let us talk to my sparkling Sagittarians, the holy fools and wanderers of the zodiac spirit. I want to tune in for Sagittarius. What do my Sagittarian friends need to know this week for their highest good? Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Moon, Rising, Stellium, and Dominant people. Spirit, what kind of energy is showing up for Sagittarians this week? Little wake up call, little epiphany coming. Okay, we'll see. We'll talk about it. So, Spirit, how is Sagittarius themselves showing up with this energy? How are they responding to this energy? What kind of element? The king, queen, knight, page, earth, air, fire, water. Fire! In your element and at the top of your fucking game. And that's what I'm hearing. Sagittarius, in your element and at the top of your fucking game. Love to see it. Okay. So let's look at money. Money, work, projects, budgets for Sagittarius. Spirit, when it comes to Sagittarius's resources, wow. Talk about at the top of your fucking game. Okay. Let's talk. All right. What about your headspace? Spirit, want to look at the mental realm. What's going on in the mind of Sagittarius this week? What do you want to point out for Sagittarians' highest good? Their highest good, Spirit. What do they need to know? That's a lot of Four of Swords this week. Hey, listen again. In the realm of swords, this is one of the ones that we want to get. Okay. So, Spirit, what about in the realm of emotions, feelings, relationships? What's going on in the heart space of Sagittarius that you want to bring up for their highest good this week? What do they need to know? Top of your game! My goodness, what a good reading. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. And finally, Spirit, what about Sagittarius's element itself? How is their fire showing up? How is it being directed? Holy shit, okay, Sagittarius, you win. You win this reading. Of all the people I've read so far, I would love to get this spread. Okay, so judgment, wake up call, epiphany, don't go back to sleep. You've had a realization. I don't think that I need to belabor that point because you're showing up, Sagittarius, as the King of Wands. So the kings are in control. That is what separates them from the queens. The queens are creators, kings are conquerors. It's like everyone in the world can see my authority, the tangible effects and borders of my authority. A king of wands, and kings, queens has nothing to do with sex and gender, everything to do with personality type. A king of wands is someone who has taken their creative idea all the way from the ace of like the spark of a like this could be cool and made it into something that exists in the world that other people can experience. So you could have an idea for a book, and then boom, shakalaka, here's the book, and other people are now in my world of ideas, right? Kings don't hesitate. They trust in their own skills, they trust in their own authority, and they move on it. So judgment, when you get this wake up call, when you get this epiphany, when you get this, world shaking download, is the phrase that I'm hearing, don't ignore it. You don't have to go act upon it, quit, run. No. I'm going to jump over to your headspace. Four of Swords says, let it settle in. And if you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, I've not had an epiphany or I've not had a wake up call, A, this week has only just started. And B, create the conditions for an epiphany by making time of silence. If you're not a person who likes to sit and cross your legs and, chant or om or meditate in a conventional way, create other ways that your mind can be engaged so that your unconscious can have its say. Meaning, so you don't like to sit and meditate, maybe you could go for a walk without your headphones and keep your phone in your pocket so that your mind wanders where it wanders, you notice what you notice, you put together little patterns, etc., right? Or it could look like painting a picture or fixing a car or making a meal, where it's like I'm very much need to be focused and present with what's happening in order for it to like happen. I have to be here to chop these vegetables and not, chop my finger off. So I do have to be present. And, I do have to be present as I'm cooking these onions because I don't want them to burn. But also my mind can be going into all kinds of interesting places because part of it is right here engaged in the present moment. So that's when, epiphanies can happen when we're in the shower because we're actually no longer laboring over the problem or the idea and like thinking, trying to generate. No. When I relax, I receive. That's what Spirit is saying. And, they're pointing out that the King of Wands knows how to receive inspiration. It's part of like what makes him, keeps that fire so sustainable. Okay. Looking at Ten of Pentacles over here in the money realm. Beautiful. Ten of Pentacles is, I have so much. I am so blessed. My life is so abundant. Like I have so much that I'm able to share it with the people that I care about and love. Ten of Pentacles also represents family and tradition. So some of you may be either visiting those people or getting ready to do that, or maybe even just reflecting on. That could be part of this judgment card is like, what were the rules and traditions of my family? and which ones work, which ones don't, which ones are at play in my life. And again, if they're working, amazing. If they're not working and I notice like, oh my God, I sounded just like my father and not in a good way or whatever, or just like my parent or caretaker mother, whatever, and not in a good way, this is a great time to like notice that, check that, change that. I'm not worried about you. Your cards are gorgeous. I'm just saying, Ten of Pentacles, and what I'm seeing as I see it is some traditions become boring, and Spirit is using a very specific word, which is stultifying. Like being in a stuffy room, but for your creativity and your growth. Like sometimes, the way our parents did it isn't necessarily the way we want to do it, or the way the last CEO did it isn't the way we want to do it. So lead your way, relate your way. We talked a little bit about the Four of Swords. Make time for silence and peace and clarity. And I say silence, I mean times where your mind can wander. So you might be able to listen to music while letting your mind wander. But whatever you do, make time to let your thoughts coalesce and play. Okay? Okay. So, looking at your emotions, Ten of Cups, it's the one everybody wants to see. It's love is abundant. It's my cups runneth over. It's I'm surrounded by all types of love. So, yes, we're seeing a wedding here, which is a wonderful sign. And some of you could be, celebrating anniversaries or weddings or parties. But Ten of Cups actually implies beyond romantic love. It's like family, friends, community. It is so much love that anything that I could need is available. People live and die to get the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups at all, let alone in the same reading. So if you have any concerns about the availability of all different types of abundance, they're certainly available to you. Tune in, clear your channel, and then you will receive. You don't have to like struggle or try to receive messages or information or inspiration from Spirit. It's actually the opposite. It's usually do less. When it comes to your fire, Six of Wands, again, cards everybody wants. Six of Wands is being celebrated, being noticed, being applauded for your unique skills. Hello, King of Wands. What it is that you do, what it is that your style is something that I'm hearing. So it's like your style, your creativity, your uniqueness, your passion. And I'm hearing that some of you are like your activists. And this is the kind of fire that Spirit is talking about, is like, I'm here to protect others or uphold others or amplify others. And I see great success with that. So the phrase that I just heard is share the wealth. So if you have lots of resources of whatever type, creativity, love, money, whatever, if you have it to give, share it and expect that you will feel more abundant, and your abundance will only grow and increase as you actively share it with other people. And for whatever reason, Spirit is showing me somebody getting up on stage, like doing stand-up comedy. And I'm hearing like rounds of applause. I'm hearing promotion. I'm hearing like show off. There is love and adoration and audience protection and support very much available to you. And again, if any of this feels far away, then your answer is to always come back to the Four of Swords. Remember that you're a King of Wands. It's your natural state to be extremely creative and brilliant in the way that you use your fire. So make sure that there's not too much air, because it's like there's a balance, right, between air and fire. Air feeds fire, but too much air, too much wind can blow out a candle, right? Too much wind could blow a fire out in one gust, but just enough means there's oxygen and spark to help it grow. And you're keeping it within these safe boundaries, within these safe containers. Clear your mind. Really beautiful things are awakening and shifting and shaping up in your life. I'm excited for you. Do you know what this is, Sagittarius? Please, if you know, let me know. I'm very, very curious. I must say, what a gorgeous spread. I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful week, as beautiful as these cards are. But all right, now let's talk to my cardinal earth friends, my Capricorn people. Spirit, we want to talk to the people who are guided, protected, and blessed by the constellation of Capricorn. Sun, moon, rising, stellium, or dominant folks, spirit. What do my Capricorn people need to know for their highest good this week? What is the overall energy or theme that Capricorn is going to be experiencing this week? What do you want them to know for their highest good? Hey, love to see it. Okay. And now, Spirit, we want to look at Capricorn themselves, their persona. How is Capricorn showing up and interacting with this energy? Page, Knight, Queen, King, Earth, Air, Fire, Water. How is Capricorn showing up this week? Hey, these two are like siblings, the type of energy. So that's great. Love to see it. Meaning, if we saw, say, maybe like a Pentacles person over here, when you're going through the energy of the Fool, it might be a little harder to act foolish, but the Page of Wands is super down for an adventure, super down to be surprised. So, love to see that. Okay. And what about when it comes to Capricorn's own element, spirit? Their money, earthly things, resources, effort. Spirit, what do my Capricorns need to know when it comes to money, jobs, career, and projects? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And Spirit is using the phrase risk, reward. Risk means reward for you this week, Capricorn. Getting a little out of your depth, being a little bit adventurous, going for something that maybe you don't know everything about, which is really cool. There's money, there's gold in them thar hills. That's what Spirit is saying. Okay, so Spirit, when I look at the headspace, the mental realm, what is that looking like for Capricorn this week? What kinds of thoughts, what kinds of words are going through their mind or through their inbox? Okay, there's the static. That's all right. Life does staticky things sometimes. We'll talk about it. Ooh, I'm hearing self-defeating talk. No more fucking self-defeating talk, Capricorn. If you think that you whipping yourself in the butt with I'm not good enough is going to make you be better, change your fucking mind. That's just what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing so clearly. Okay. All right. Spirit, looking at the heart, the realm of emotions, feelings, relationships. What do you want to show Capricorn? What do you want them to know for their highest good this week? Yup, that goes right along with that, like self-defeating talk, self-defeating thoughts, self-defeating emotions. Four of Cups can be a little bit like, hey, give me a miracle. No, not like that. And Capricorn, if you hear yourself in any of this, I hope that it can make you laugh and lighten your heart, okay? Because Spirit is never speaking in judgment. They're always like, hey, does this sound familiar? Quit that shit, okay? With a light heart, with a light and loving heart. Okay, and finally, Spirit, I want to look at Capricorn's fire. Their will, their creativity, their spark. How is fire showing up in Capricorn's life this week? And what do they need to know about their fire for their highest good? Tenacity is the word that Spirit shared as soon as I flipped this over. You are tenacious, Capricorn, and you know it. Any Capricorn worth their salt, like, prides themselves on their tenacity. Like, yeah, tell me it's hard. I'll fucking get there. So, what's interesting, Spirit, is like you notice that this particular Fool, they have climbed the mountain. Okay, we see all the mountain range in the background of this card, and they are walking off of a cliff. They've already ascended. Now they're moving off of it. So, Capricorn is famous for climbing the corporate ladder, for ascending the mountain goat, right? The places that everybody says, no, nobody can climb that actually. And then you see a mountain goat standing on like a 1/4 inch of outcropping and being like, what? Like the meme, right? What if the level of success that you have reached is not it for you? I don't mean, oh, this isn't working. I mean, maybe it's not over. I think that you are investigating, if not outright pursuing, making a big change this week. The Fool says, go ahead and get in over your head. Go ahead and do the thing that you don't have all the answers or information for. And the Page of Wands says, won't this be an adventure? You guys, something really altogether new is coming into our life. Let's go meet it. That's what Spirit is saying. So something new is coming into your life. Go and meet it. All will be well, Capricorn. Like maybe your most important concern is like, hey, materially speaking, you're telling me to go, try new things and have adventures and yada yada. That all sounds cute, but like, what about the basics? What about the fundamentals? What about, is there going to be enough money? What about, is everybody that I love going to be okay? 10 of Pentacles says absolutely yes. 10 of Pentacles is the protection and security of not just money, but family. And remember that family can be blood and family can be chosen. So we can be with like a really wonderful romantic partner that like, oh, we're not married, but we're family and we have built a home together. That can be true also of friends, So chosen or blood family. There's protection, there's love, there is shared I'm hearing shared protection. So it's like if you need some, there is some. If you have some to give, it is accepted and received beautifully. Now, I want to talk about this Five of Swords and this Four of Cups almost as one thing because I see them as very much connected. So, Five of Swords is, like Spirit is saying, Five of Swords is one of the results you can have from a Four of Cups atmosphere. So, Five of Swords, losing game. Like the opposite of a fucking win-win situation. It's actually a Pyrrhic victory where it's like, oh, okay, I got into a fight with my best friend. Let's just say I got into a fight with my best friend, and man, this one thing about them that is really annoying or always got to me, I finally said it to them in the most clear, incisive, intense way, and like, yeah, finally they know that I think they're a fill in the blank, or that when it comes to blank they're yada yada whatever. And then it's like you say it felt good to say it in the moment, and then you watch their face fall, and then you know that even if this friendship continues, it's never going to be the same again. That's a Pyrrhic victory. I got to say my little piece, and now this person will never be as close to me as they were before because they cannot trust me in their softness. That's what I'm hearing. So be careful that you don't cut off your nose to spite your face. That's a phrase that always comes when I look at the Five of Swords. It's like, oh, my nose pissed me off, so I cut it off, and now my whole face hurts. Know what I'm talking about? And they were saying that the Five of Swords can be a direct like result of a Four of Cups climate, because the Four of Cups is insecure. It is Spirit is saying great expectations, and then it's like it's really hard. Like what? Woof. Spirit is using like they're paraphrasing something about expectations are. It's like just waiting to be disappointed. Putting expectations on things and on people are like, oh, good, okay, here I'm putting disappointment on layaway, is what Spirit is saying, because people are people. And like when we have a pinhole idea of how people are supposed to act, it's really hard for people to fit through a pinhole. And it can, I have Capricorn placements myself, Cap, so don't shoot the messenger. because we hold ourselves to an extremely high standard, we can consciously or unconsciously hold other people to that standard. And it's not that that's right or wrong, it's that it almost inevitably ends up disappointing. So the fool doesn't have expectations. The fool is like, I'm here, I'm present, I'm living life, I'm having fun, I'm figuring stuff out. And they do better because of it. Now, what Spirit is saying is they're like, okay, let's pretend that you and I are driving and we're driving. Oh no, somebody, turned into the wrong lane and we're going to have a fender bender. And like, oh, we can see it coming for just a second right before it happens, right? Now, in that second, the vast majority of people, and certainly the vast majority of Capricorns, will tense up. They might even like put their hands on the dashboard, right? If they're in the passenger seat, that might be the tendency, or to grip the arm rest, right? When actually, it is exactly the tensing or the grabbing or the pushing that can lead to like worse injuries and broken bones than if we were to see that we're about to hit somebody. It's only going to be a fender bender, okay? But still, we could hurt ourselves in a fender bender. So, okay, I see it. It's coming. I'm actually going to take a deep breath, let it out, and get as loose as I can. Because then when we hit, I'm just going to kind of flop. You know what I mean? My body is more fluid. I'm not trying to hold the dashboard and then my fucking forearms. You know what I'm talking about? I let myself, okay, like all I can do now is tense or relax. I don't have an option other than tense or relax. I might as well relax. You feel me? 90% of Capricorns, no! Don't tell me to loosen up, bitch. I know what I'm doing, which you do. You do know what you're doing, and knowing what you're doing isn't always the best fucking thing. Lots of times, not knowing what you're doing and being willing to fuck around and find out is actually the best, most fun and exciting and rich option, okay? When it comes to your fire, your endurance, your tenacity are unmatched, Capricorn. And Spirit knows as well as I do that if you want to keep going with what you're doing, you can. You can. You have the endurance, you have the tenacity. The question is that what you want? Is that where you want to apply your amazing endurance and tenacity and hard work? Or is there something new that you want to move toward or fall into or open yourself up to? You'll be protected. Spirit's being funny, and they're like, you'll be protected from the outside. It's the inside job that you got to worry about, Capricorn. The call is coming from inside the house. Okay? So when you call yourself up, make it nice. What do you think, Cap? How do you feel? Is any of that resonating with you? Is it not resonating with you? Listen, I'm not only trying to hear the good shit. Y'all weighing in with what it is that comes up for you during these readings just helps me improve as a reader. So I would appreciate any stories or comments or questions that you share, Cap. And I really hope that this helps. I hope this helps you have a better week. I hope it helps things, make more sense. Hey, listen, Cap, as far as little sign-offs go, the Fool is the first card. It's number 0. The World is the final card, number 21. Like, wow. The beginning and the end. The entering school and the graduation. So Spirit is letting you know, if you have any concerns about, wait a minute, but isn't this just starting over? What if I'm like, I can't just be a beginner again? I can't just try this new thing and win. Sure you can. And actually you could get everything that you want. Pentacle, cup, sword, wand, you could have it all. But it will require you being all of yourself. This isn't one figure. This is 2 heads. This is divine union, feminine, masculine, yin, yang, solar, lunar, etc. So it involves you embracing another part of yourself to reach that graduation, that excitement, that zenith that you're hoping for. Okay? Okay, that was fun. Surprise! Surprise clarifier for Capricorn. Okay, now let's talk to Aquarius, my fixed air friends, my professional weirdos. What do my Aquarians need to know? Their highest good this week, Spirit. What is the overall theme or energy showing up for Aquarians this week? Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aquarius Rising, and Dominant Folks, Spirit. What do my Aquarians need to know about this week for their highest good? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Dominant. What do they need to know? Huh. Okay. I'm going to pull a clarifier, Aquarius, because the moon is like, well, it's the opposite of clarity. It's the go into the dark, go into the unknown, explore your memories, your past, your unconscious associations is something else that I'm hearing, which is really interesting. Okay. Spirit, can you give me one more? We want to help Aquarius navigate and understand the moon, their own emotions, their own unconscious patterns. Wowee. So if any of y'all have been watching since the beginning, I said that the Two of Wands features the Hierophant, Chiron, the wounded healer, who is standing in a cave shrouded in mystery by the person who is searching with the Two of Wands. Okay, that's a really beautiful combination. So, Aquarius, let's see how you are showing up, how Aquarius is interacting with this energy. Spirit, can you tell me about the characteristics, the persona that Aquarius is stepping into this energy with this week? Hey, Queen of Wands, beautiful, enthusiastic, cheerful, energetic, love to see it. Your fire, your charisma, your confidence, those are highlighted this week, okay, Aquarius? Where, Spirit is saying, where are you a leader in your own right? What is something that you know more about than anyone else? Something that you can bring light to because of your unique, strange past. We'll talk about it. Okay. So when it comes to money, Spirit, money, budgets, projects, career for Aquarius, what do they need to know? For some reason, Aquarius, they're saying Libra, Libra, Libra. So some of you might be working with a Libra or like been thinking about that. I don't know what. I'm just the messenger. So for those of you for whom that resonates, you're going to know, oh, they want me to call that person, or yeah, I have been thinking about blah, 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 blah about that person. So take it for what it is. And now, Spirit, when it comes to Aquarius's own element, the realm of the mind, thoughts, words, communications, Spirit, what does Aquarius need to know? Okay, in your head a little bit. We get it. That's all right. We'll talk about it. What about in their heart, Spirit? What do my Aquarius people need to know when it comes to the emotional realm? Their feelings and relationships. You are supported. You may not know it all the time, but you are supported, and not just by one or two people. You are supported. There's a little crowd of people that are applauding you and who want to see you win. That's what I'm hearing. Very fucking clearly. Maybe you're too in your head to know it sometimes. So this would be hey, wake up, snap to it. You have people on your side. You're not alone. You're not trapped. We'll talk about it. Okay, Spirit. And Aquarius, who is showing up as the Queen of Wands this week, how is their fire showing up? 5 of Wands. Okay. All right. There's confusion. there's confusion, there's potential to get a little lost, to, like Spirit is saying, get lost in the sauce, to get a little fucking high on your own supply and lose the plot. That's what Spirit is saying, is like there is the opportunity or the threat of losing the plot, depending on how you think of it, Aquarius. So Spirit also said something very interesting with this that is only going to apply to maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 of you, but it was really interesting. So the moon is related to memory, is related to, therefore, memetics, is therefore related to memes. And Spirit is like, some of y'all have been through some weird ass shit and you have a weird ass way of seeing the world that you could, as the Hierophant does, share some sacred wisdom via memes. Because you're this charismatic, confident, fun, creative force this week. So queens, kings, etc., nothing to do with sex and gender. You could very well be a masculine, male, blah, 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 blah person watching this reading, getting a Queen of Wands. That would say focus on your creativity. Focus on what gives you joy to like experience, and I'm hearing the word incubate. So you might be incubating a really cool book idea, a really cool series of photographs in your mind. It's like, ooh, this would be a really neat creative project. I'm incubating this, I'm working on this, I'm nurturing this. And then when you enter a King of Wands state is when you show that shit off to everybody and start creating like a whole kingdom off of it. You know what I'm saying? But right now, it's the quote unquote feminine, it's the receptive, it's the exploratory, it's the creative, and in the darkness, right? You have the moon here, not the sun. It's explore. It's explore and investigate. So I made reference to, in this deck, this is the Mythic Tarot. So all of the spreads, or rather all of the suits are based on myths, and all of the major arcana are based on mythic archetypes. And the Hierophant here, who is classically the one who holds and shares sacred and secret wisdom, here is featured as Chiron, who in astrology and in mythology is known as the wounded healer. It is the place that we are hurt and cut the deepest that our best medicine comes from. It's where we've been poisoned that we are able to draw out and synthesize an antidote. So when Spirit said there's certain things that you've gone through or that you know or understand in a different way than other people, and you can share that secret wisdom in this charismatic, creative, confident way related to like memeing or whatever, you can help people heal. You can share really important information that only you can know and share in your particular and specific way because you've actually been there. You know what I'm talking about? Whether this applies to you in the sense of, like I said, it's like maybe only a very small handful of Aquarians who hear this are like people who make memes or make content about things that they've been through. Even if it's not about things that you've been through, but it's like, oh, I have a unique take on fill in the blank. I have a unique take on reading tarot, or I have a unique take on therapy, or I have a unique take on family systems, or I have a unique take on baking, whatever. If you have it in you and you have, it feels like there's a chance to understand how to do some alchemy this week. If you take the time, 7 of Pentacles, pause, step back. Maybe you're thinking about making really bold moves. I say, yes, make bold moves, but not before you get really clear about what it is that you want. 7 of Pentacles is, okay, what have I been doing so far? What's working and what's not working? So, it's kind of like if we've been driving, on a road trip and we pull over to take a look at the map. And it's like, you know what? When I created this road trip agenda, I thought that I would love to be in the car for 72 hours at a time. Turns out I don't want that. So now I'm going to pull out the map and I'm going to make some adjustments so that I'm spending this gas, this time, this energy, these resources in a smarter, better way that is more applicable to the moment, as opposed to maybe, Aquarius is a fixed sign. So they're saying some of you might have been like really trying to make this one thing work and without changing it. And it's like, okay, you know what? A little tweak could make everything um, better, could make everything make sense, is something that I'm hearing. Like, oh, now I get it. This weird shit that I had to go through, nobody else would be able to do this except for me, because I've been at those unique intersections. Me, just me, Chiron. You know what I'm saying? Only I can make this amazing antidote out of this terrible poison. Nine of Swords. You won't do so well if you're stuck all up in your head, getting distracted by unnecessary, illusory fears, things that are not real, things that are not worth your mental bandwidth. Nine of Swords is anxiety, it's panic, it's sleepless nights, it's nightmare scenarios, and playing those nightmare scenarios in your head on a fucking loop. So if any of you are familiar with that vibe, don't blame yourself. I'm not blaming you. Spirit's not blaming you. They are pointing out, like, hey, are you doing that thing where you're trying to, like, figure out every scenario, and you're trying to figure out, well, what's going to happen in 40 years? It's like, oh my God, no wonder you feel all anguished. You're trying to plan for 40 years? Be here. What's here? Don't go looking for what is missing. Use what is available. You know what I'm saying? That's something that Spirit is saying very simply and clearly. If you're trying to go find something that's missing, that would be kind of a fool's errand. Use what is available. You are surrounded by resources, by people who love and support and understand you, who love what it is you do and what you bring to the table, and they want to help lift you. You will do much better if you are not fighting dragons that are totally unnecessary. And what Spirit is saying is like, poof, come back to this moon. When we go wading into our past, into our traumas, our fears, our anxieties, the things that trigger panic in us, we meet the dragons within, right? Now, there is a school of thought that we got to meet these dragons, we got to slay them. I am of the school that we nourish, that we heal, that we join forces with our inner dragons, that we form relationships and friendships with them, so that actually, no, I don't need to fight this tremendous, fearsome beast of my rage or my depression or whatever. I actually want to help it, How to Train Your Dragon, quote unquote. It's like that. That's what Spirit is saying. I've never even seen the movie. But that's what Spirit is saying. So, hey, how do I support, nurture, make this dragon in me understand that I'm on its side? That we're not enemies. That if you're within me, then you're part of me. So how can we both get what we want? The Queen of Wands will never be afraid of handling 5 measly wands, of meeting a dragon that she's so much more powerful than. Oh, hello, dragon of my pain, or dragon of my hurt, or dragon of my wound. I've come to ask for your help. And I've come to offer you help in exchange. And when you two work together, that's when everything changes. That's when, the dragon has the trust in you to move its big body out of the way and show you that behind it is a cave full of riches that it has been guarding, not from you, but for you. That's what Spirit is saying. There's treasure behind your fear, behind your anxiety. There's treasure and antidote in your wound. Are you brave enough to take the lead? I see courage, I see brilliance, I see genius. Use it, do it, make it. How about it? What do you think, Aquarius? Let me know. Stories, comments, questions. Truly, y'all help me become a better reader when you share your reflections or your lack of resonance with me. So I appreciate you, and I truly hope that this helps. Mind me taking a quick sip of caffeine? Because I'm gonna. How are you? Are y'all hydrating? Hydrate. Take a quick hydrate break before we move on to Pisces. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, now let's move on to the final frontier. Let us talk to sweet Pisces. My Pisces people, those born under the constellation of Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising, and Pisces Dominant people. Spirit, want to know what kind of overall energy, what kind of theme, wow, that Pisces is encountering this week. Appropriate. Okay. Okay, Spirit. I want to see, how is Pisces themselves showing up? What kind of persona, what sort of characteristics is Pisces displaying this week? Wow, in your element and at the top of your game. I've said that only about one other sign, and if it was one of yours, Pisces, then double down on that shit, because wow. I think it was Sagittarius. Wow, okay. So when it comes to their money, Spirit, I want to look at Pisces money, projects, budgets, career. How are things going in the pockets and pentacles of Pisces? Gorgeous. Okay. And what about in their mind, Spirit, in the head space, the mental realm, Pisces? What's the climate like in Pisces world? And what do they need to know about it for their highest good? Please, Spirit, always and only. Yes. Okay. Well, themes. Themes. Okay. Now, Spirit, what about the heart space, the emotions, the relationships of my Pisces people? The realm of the heart for Pisces this week. Wow. Okay. Themes upon themes upon themes, Pisces. One more, please, Spirit. We want to know how Pisces is using their light, how their energy, their fire is showing up this week, and how you would like to guide them to direct it for their highest good. Wow. Leaving behind the old so you can adventure toward the new. Okay. So Pisces, you show up as the King of Cups. In your element, top of your game. King and Queen, nothing to do with sex and gender, everything to do with kind of what level and type you are. So a King of Cups is a leader. A King of Cups is like, Spirit is using a lot of words right now. They're like visionary, thought leader, and I'm also hearing nucleus, like you are the nucleus of an operation. You hold all the information. You hold a world of understanding. And when it's the King of Cups, it's emotional understanding. It's like being able to, as Pisces people do, often see through people and be able to relate to others that like, wow, Spirit is giving me a real specific example. And I'm like, can I even say this properly? They are telling me that there are people who have such a vast amount of depth, and I would wager that a lot of them are Pisces, that they can hold space for types of people that nobody else would be willing to hold space for. Okay? And so some of you might be healers, some of you may be psychologists or psychiatrists, because what Spirit is actually making direct reference to is there are people that are such amazing healers that they're able to hold space for people who have done very bad things, or who would, or who fantasize about doing very bad things. So Some of you are deep, deep, deep in the kind of healing and spiritual cleansing game. That's just what I'm fucking hearing. And I know that's strong and that's not going to apply to every Pisces. But wherever you are in your journey, whatever it is you are doing, Pisces, this week you are showing up with emotional authority. You're showing up with a lot of understanding. You might get called in to mediate on some things, or to to bring your own emotional and intuitive wisdom to the table. I say that because the overall energy and theme of your reading, the High Priestess, collecting data. You know, I love this version of the card because it's Persephone visiting the underworld. You can see the overworld, the earth, the green, the fertility, the abundance through the little window from which she is through the doorway that she's descending down. She is willing to go deep. She is willing to go into the dark to know her full self. The High Priestess is also not rushing anywhere. Not rushing anywhere. You're never going to see the High Priestess running. You know what I'm saying? And the High Priestess isn't in a rush to share everything she's learning either, or everything that she is going through. She is on her own journey. You know, it's not until we reach the Empress that that journey is expressed outwardly. The High Priestess is going within. It's about deep intuition. And Spirit is saying what this is also for you about this week is patience. And patience is a major ingredient in intuition, because lots of times we get one, sign or one nudge, and we will work overtime and spin our wheels to make that mean something or make it confirm something, when a lot of times it's like, hey, receive that, note the data, and it's like, that's a data point. That is not a whole data set. I don't know if I got any Pisces nerds that are listening to this, but that's what Spirit is saying. So they're like, when you receive data points, remember that they are points, and remember that then the art is in connecting the dots. Okay? So you might be connecting some pretty cool and important dots this week. There's patience involved in that, and there is a widening and depth of understanding. I love to see the King of Cups and the High Priestess next to each other, because it seems like you'll be navigating that energy really well, as opposed to, say, pulling the High Priestess and then the Page of Swords. It's like, oh, damn, are you going to even have the patience or the emotional intelligence to know the signs when you see them? You will. You will, and you do. You're probably quite practiced at it for many of you. Now, looking at money, projects, career, love to see it. Six of Pentacles, generosity, given and received. I'm hearing grants. So some of you might be applying for grants or things like that, or maybe they're grant writers, and it's like, oh, here comes this donation, here comes this grant that I needed, here comes this whatever. If you need it, let the world know. And importantly, it's not about like, oh, I'm just asking, will somebody give me money? It's, here's this thing that I'm creating. Does somebody want to give me some money for it? Or whatever. Or does somebody want to give me some support for this? If you ask, it feels like it is available. And if you are the one who has plenty and someone asks and you have it to give and it would please you to be able to give it. And expect for the circle to continue. Because that's the point of the Six of Pentacles, is like, as you give, you receive. Looking at your thought space. Seven of Swords. When I said like themes upon themes, the High Priestess is not interested in anything that is not true. She's not interested in anything that is not helping you go deeper. If something satisfies a superficial question or urge, like, it's not for her and it's not for you. So if what I want to say is, like, if somebody is trying to give you a superficial answer or try to like gloss over something, you do not have to accept that, and I don't see you accepting it. I see you kind of taking it for what it is and being like, okay, then, so now that was my sign to move on, or keep going, or let go of this expectation or desire because this person is showing me that they're not ready to give me that, or whatever it is. and letting that go and continuing. So kind of like dropping dead weight, kind of like not sitting at the same casino table and continuing to put the last few of your chips in because you've already invested 3/4 of them. It's like, no, you know what? I'm going to take the 1/4 of the chips that I got left and I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm going to take what's mine and I'm going to leave what's not. And I'm going to have faith that if I move away from what isn't for me, what is for me will show up next. Now, have you noticed yet? The generosity goes around, comes around. Those of us who are sitting in a kingly position can soon be offering everything because what we want and need is so much more important than what we thought we fucking even wanted. I know that sounds like interesting, but the generosity goes around and comes around, and people who may seem like they knew everything or had everything might soon be coming to you in need. And that feels circular. It's not like a ha ha thing. It's like, okay. So when I did actually have the faith to leave everything that I knew and understood behind and go into the quote unquote darkness of my intuition or of my deeper emotions or of my more fearsome thoughts, I may get handed the whole fucking kingdom. I may have come by asking for a few dollars or a few fucking pentacles, and then the keys to the whole kingdom, the crown itself, are offered to me. Three of Wands is about expansion of your adventure. It's, oh, Eight of Cups, you had the faith, the courage to walk away from something that you had invested so much into, but that was ultimately unsatisfying. So Eight of Cups, you're never going to get asked with the Eight of Cups to leave behind something that is still growing, that is still thriving, that is still helping you grow and thrive. Oh, being in this relationship is really helping me know more of myself. That's not the Eight of Cups. Oh, this habit is really helping me expand and learn more and become more. That's not your Eight of Cups. But if this habit of drinking or this habit of scrolling or this habit of going back to the same person who doesn't make me feel very good about myself and it's better than nothing, right? That's Eight of Cups. Guess what? It's not better than nothing. Nothing, underworld, nothing is better than this, which is stagnant, which is limiting, which is holding you in an old position when it's like, no, life is opening up for you and opportunities that you've never even like conceived of before. That's what I'm hearing with this crown coming at you is like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I deserve. You're right. Damn. I have come a long way, haven't I? And I have dropped some old bullshit that was keeping me, part of what I'm hearing is dishonest. Whether it's like dishonest with myself or dishonest with other people. It was like, wow, I don't want to hide anymore. And that means that I have to get really fucking honest with myself and other people about what's for me and what's not for me. And when I get really clear on what's for me and what's not for me, and when I start really connecting the dots, my life and my adventure and my opportunities open up. So I'm hearing leave behind the old. If it's old and it's stagnant and it feels like excess or like it's taking up more than it's giving, let it go. Even just experiment with letting it go and see what happens. You don't have to make it, okay, I'm quitting drinking entirely forever for the rest of my life if you're not ready to do that. Because then you're setting yourself up for, okay, I went, a day and a half or a week and a half or whatever and a half without drinking. And then I drank again and then I hated myself and told myself what a piece of shit I was. And that made me want to drink more. You know what I'm talking about? Versus like, oh, you know what? Let me see how I feel when I go for, a day or 48 hours or a week or whatever it is. Let's see what happens when I do that. Do I feel better? What am I noticing? And let me continue to move toward what helps me feel like I'm growing and new things are becoming available to me as opposed to circling the same old block. Yep, there's that place. Yep, there's that place. Same old place I saw yesterday. Same place I'm seeing again today. Spirit's like, no more circling the block. We're moving on to new places and new things, and that means leaving behind old parts of you that for a while nourished you or served your purpose or made sense, but now it's like, oh, those are maladaptive coping mechanisms. That people pleasing used to really work for me, now not so much. Curious if any of you Pisces people have Aries placements, because I feel like they got a little bit of a similar message. Curious. Your intuition and your emotional intelligence are at a high. Don't be in a rush. Don't go fast. Go deep. Okay? Okay. I hope that helps, Pisces. Thank you so much for listening. And if you are one of the people who sat here through this whole thing, you're a fucking real one. And I would love to see you post maybe, let's see, like the tarot card, or what I think of as the tarot card emoji. I think it's listed as like flower card in your like phone. But if you did happen to listen to this whole thing, drop that little tarot card, flower moon card thing in the comments. I'm just curious. All right. Much love, many blessings to you. I hope that this reading helps you have a fabulous week, and I hope to see you face first again next week. Bye-bye.